Welcome to my new day 2 push workout. The reason I am switching things up is because my squat and deadlift strength are increasing, but my bench press isn't, and it's a shame. I don't know about you, but for me, I've always thought a big bench press is one of the coolest lifts to be good at. The last 10 weeks, I've done the same routine, practiced progressive overload, and haven't been lifting more for my bench press. The current bench PR is 240 pounds for a touch and go rep. This has been good for me, but getting back into lifting the last couple months, but there are definitely superior ways to go about getting a bigger bench press. The previous 10-week push day consisted of almost exclusively heavy sets of 5 or less reps. This new plan has a heavy day focused on strength and a lighter day focused on hypertrophy. My thought is if I work on building the muscle to be bigger, then there will be more myonuclei and muscle fibers to recruit, making it so I can lift more weight. I also work my legs during this workout after doing chest, triceps, and shoulders. If you have more days in the week to train, I definitely recommend splitting this into an upper-lower split so your workout doesn't last so long. To start off the workout, I do flat bench 3 sets of 8 to 10 with a 1 to 2 second pause rep at the bottom of the movement. I do this to remove the stretch reflex and bounce, which forces my body to adapt to recruiting a lot more muscle fibers at the bottom of the movement. Plus, a pause on the bench press is required in competition, so it doesn't really count anyway, saying I bench 240 if I can't pause for a second at the bottom of the rep. This does require leaving one's ego at the door. However, a pause bench press is more difficult, which means dropping the weight down some. I also recommend doing this because pausing also makes the movement a lot safer, preventing the risk of tearing your pec. Following this variation of the bench press, I do a close grip flat bench press, 2 sets, 8 to 10 reps with a 4 to 5 second eccentric. This movement is good because the triceps are heavily involved in the regular bench press, so growing them would increase your maximum weight. I focused on the eccentric here because it increases the time my muscles are under tension, and 40 to 60 seconds of being under tension is about the sweet spot for hypertrophy. If you're wondering how close to keep your hands together for this on a typical barbell, place your index fingers around where the smooth part of it is, while your other fingers are around the rough part. Also, try focusing on keeping your elbows tucked by your sides because if you flare them out, that will cause more chest and shoulder recruitment. Next is 2 sets of cable flies, 8 to 10 reps with around 2 to 3 second hold in the deepest part of the stretch for the movement while really controlling the eccentric. This can be done while standing, or you can sit on a flat bench at 90 degrees. From what I've heard, the sitting variation allows for more muscle activation than the standing variation. Following this, you can superset with pushing the weight down like a forward-leaning dip, allowing for some lower pec work. Do this also for 8 to 10 reps. This finishes out for the chest exercises, and then we go into destroying the rest of our triceps. This will be done with incline eccentric tricep extensions, 3 sets, 8 to 12 reps with a 4 to 5 second eccentric for each rep. This can be done with an easy bar or dumbbells. I like the incline variation more than the flat variation of this exercise due to the longer stretch on the triceps. Also, having arms extended behind the head instead of directly above like with a skull crusher keeps more constant tension on the tricep. To finish out the upper body work, there are 2 different shoulder exercises, with the first being machine overhead press, 2 sets of 12 to 15 reps. This can be substituted with a barbell or dumbbells as well, but I prefer at this point of the workout to use the machine since it lets me focus more on the shoulder being worked and less on also trying to balance while keeping my core engaged in the free weight variations. I try not to get caught up in too much extra front delt work, also because of how much it's being hit by all the different variations of bench press I do. The second shoulder exercise is dual cable lateral raises, 4 sets of 15 reps. This is the part of the workout where it isn't all that focused on bench press work. Lateral delts for me are mainly worked for aesthetic appearances, and I hit them with lots of volume because they are pretty starting to grow and recover fairly quick. I like the dual cables here because they keep the constant activation on the delt plus allow for a cross-body stretch, which I feel the dumbbell lateral raises lack. Dumbbells not only lack stretch, but there is also a moment break with no tension at the bottom of the movement. For those reasons, I like the use of cables for more hypertrophy-based work. Don't worry, I didn't forget rear delts though. They are just worked on my pull day instead. That's all for the upper body, and now for the lower body work. Starting off with a close stance V squat, 3 sets, 6 to 8 reps, again with a 3 to 4 second pause at the bottom of the rep. I do prefer a hack squat machine if available, essentially if it allows you to go deep and really stretch out the quads. However, this is what my gym has in addition to the sitting hack squat I'll talk about in a moment. I keep the stance close because I feel more activation in the quads and like the machines because I can once again not focus on balance and really just load the muscle with as much weight as I can. Don't worry though, I do get my free weight squatting, which you can see if you haven't already checked out my day 1 push workout. The second leg exercise is sitting hack squat, 2 sets, 10 to 12 reps. This is what I'm doing mostly to avoid boredom from just adding 2 sets to the V squat. However, if you don't want to re-rack the weight, you can virtually get the same benefit doing all V squat. Alternatively, you can do all hack squat too if you have access to a good hack squat machine. Following this, I do single leg press, 2 sets of 15 reps. I try to add some single leg work in to keep my legs about the same size. My right leg is stronger, causing it to take over some lifts and makes it slightly bigger, so adding in some work that targets one side at a time is to help offset the difference. Alternatives that target one leg at a time is lunges, variations of split squats, or leg extensions. I prefer the leg press or leg extensions because it doesn't have much of a systemic effect and lets me focus primarily on the quad work rather than balancing and using my core. Plus, at the end of a workout, I'm pretty gassed out, so a machine lets me go harder for my sets. The final exercise is 3 supersets of calf raises, 10 to 20 reps into 20 tibialis raises. The calves are composed primarily of type 1 muscle fibers, meaning they are slow twitch. In addition, it is easy to just bounce through your calf work using the Achilles tendon without actually getting much calf engagement, causing them not to grow. So these sets are long. I recommend each rep holding 3 to 4 seconds in the completely contract position and going into the deepest stretch for 3 to 4 seconds as well. Say you do 3 seconds for both the contract and stretch position, that makes each rep 6 seconds. I recommend setting a timer for 1 to 2 minutes so you know if you do 10 reps, you went 1 minute, and 20 reps, you went 2 minutes. I put such a large rep range mainly for the sake of time and how boring calf work can be. With this, when I hit failure before my rep target, I also sometimes stop for a few seconds, then keep going until I reach my goal. Regardless, I go to failure. If you don't normally train calves though, or just bounce, you probably want to do less volume by cutting off a set because this may make you incredibly sore. That's the end of the workout. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. Leave me a comment to boost the algorithm, and I'll see you in the next one.